The Invisible Man was about to assault his female colleague, when she suddenly woke from her dream, and discovered her buttons had been undone. She instantly realized the Invisible Man was nearby. She immediately grabbed a gun and a bag of blood plasma, then splashed the blood onto the floor, but she was still a step too slow. A vicious slap struck her hard across the face. The enraged woman threw the blood bag directly at the Invisible Man, briefly revealing his form. However, her strength was no match for his. Not only was her gun taken away, but she was also pinned firmly to the ground. Ultimately, amid desperate pleas for mercy, the Invisible Man killed her. Colleagues who heard the commotion immediately rushed in with guns drawn. Upon entering, they saw blood everywhere and a cold corpse in the corner. Before they could react, the Invisible Man had already circled behind them like a ghost, and instantly killed one of their teammates. The young man rushed forward to help, but had his kidney pierced instantly, losing his ability to fight. The Invisible Man then shut the freezer door, planning to let them freeze to death inside. Only the dead could keep the secret of his existence. As time passed, the young man, having lost too much blood, gradually lost consciousness. Meanwhile, the Invisible Man was calmly using homemade bombs to prepare to level the entire laboratory, but he underestimated the woman scientist's resourcefulness. At this critical moment, the scientist refused to give up. Using her professional knowledge, she constructed a makeshift electromagnetic device from available materials, and successfully opened the freezer door. She then dragged the young man to safety, turned around, grabbed a flamethrower, and decided to face her opponent in a final showdown. Confronted by the surging flames, the Invisible Man's artificial skin burned rapidly as he begged for mercy, but the woman showed no hesitation. However, when the flames died down, the Invisible Man, having lost his outer skin, became invisible again. Just as he was about to escape, she decisively shattered the fire sprinkler system sensor. In the cascading water, the Invisible Man's outline appeared once more. He quietly appeared behind her, preparing to deliver a fatal strike, when the awakened young man grabbed an iron rod, and used all his strength to knock him down. But he had overlooked the Invisible Man's resilience. Just as he was helping the woman to evacuate, the Invisible Man lunged at them again. Fortunately, the young man reacted quickly, and pushed him toward a nearby electrical panel. Amid flying sparks, the Invisible Man was charred to a crisp, and fell to the ground, seemingly dead. Not daring to linger, the two headed for the exit, only to discover the Invisible Man had also planted time bombs. Terrified, they ran for their lives, but the explosion's shockwave came roaring from behind, and the massive force sent the entire elevator flying. Just when they thought they had narrowly escaped, they discovered the Invisible Man had somehow regained consciousness and was chasing them again. He grabbed the woman, and both plummeted down the elevator shaft. The young man tried to climb down to save her, but found the ladder had already broken. He could only watch helplessly as the woman fought alone below. Fortunately, during the fall, she decisively severed the connector, causing the Invisible Man to plunge into the sea of flames at the bottom of the shaft. Eventually, the two struggled out of the laboratory, ending this nightmare. But after watching this film, I'm curious, if you became invisible, what would you most want to do?